Good morning. Hope everyone's doing well. My name is Amy Stevens, and I work here at the Gallaudet University Regional Center. And I'm just helping out today running Shared Reading Saturday. We're thrilled to be back after the long summer. I hope everyone enjoyed their summer. Now we're back to school and back to everything, and of course, back to Shared Reading Saturday as well. For the month of September, we're going to run this as an online program, but live through Zoom. And we're still figuring out our plans for October. It will be nice if we can get back together in person, but safety is important. And so we're still trying to work on those details, and we will let you know as soon as a decision is made about what the plan will be for next month. But next month will be on Saturday, October 30th. So save the date. So we have a wonderful story today. It's called Outside In. And Fran, who's our tutor today, she's going to be teaching you the story. We have two interpreters. Desiree, she's our ASL to English interpreter. And Cello is our ASL to Spanish interpreter. So if you'd like to hear the English, on the bottom of your screen, there's a picture of a globe and it says interpreting. Just click on that and pick the channel called ASL. And if you'd like to hear the Spanish, then you, on that same place, hit the Spanish channel. And then you can watch and listen in your language of choice. I think we're ready to go ahead and get ready with the story. Go ahead, Fran. Great. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Yes, no, kind of a mixed bag here. I understand. I'm tired too. I hope that you all have your coffee and it's starting to kick in just a little bit. It's starting to wake you up a little bit, so that's good. I know some of you don't have the book yet, and that's okay. We'll go at a slow pace this morning, and we'll go through the story kind of page by page, because I want you to be able to keep up. And then when you go to the next shared reading, you can get a copy of the book for this month, and then we can do some more practice. Okay? So I do have some slides that I'm going to go through with you as well. And then we'll get on with the story. So we'll get started with the first slide. So welcome. I mean, some of you have been here before to Shared Reading Saturdays. A little bit different these days because of COVID, but we're keep going, and we are hopeful and looking forward to when we can get back in person. So fingers crossed. So welcome back, everyone. And if for new families, welcome. Welcome. We're thrilled that you can join us and hope that we'll continue to see you in future events. So every month we teach a story, and we also teach some principles for reading with deaf and hard of hearing children. So these principles, they're kind of strategies for reading with your deaf or hard of hearing child to help you be a better reader with your children. So each month I pick a few of the strategies and teach them, review them. We'll review those principles. And then when we're finished with that, we go on with the story for the month. And then we do some practice, review the story, get comfortable signing it together. And then at the very end, I would like to do a game, if we have time. So I thought maybe we'd do a finger spelling alphabet game, but we might hold on to that for next month. We'll see how that works out, doing that on Zoom. We'll see how that goes. Go with the flow. That's what we'll do today. So let's see what principles we're going to learn about today. Oh, actually, let me back up. I realized, and I was kind of shocked. So the shared reading project was developed in 1997 at the Laurent Clair Center in Washington, D.C. at Gallaudet University. So they're the ones that set up the shared reading project and kind of dispersed it throughout the country. And so different schools adapted that and adopted that and started doing their own shared reading projects. And the shared reading project, really involved teachers working one-on-one with families in the home. And that worked well and was very successful. Here, the GURC, here in Massachusetts at NECC, recognized that project was very successful and thought, how can we adapt that to be able to provide even more services to more families in our area? So the Gallaudet University Regional Center set up the Shared Reading Saturday program. And that actually was set up in 2004. And so now we've been set up since 2004. We have families who come together as a group to learn, to see stories and learn how to sign different children's books. And so our program here in Massachusetts has been established since 2004. That's 17 years. So it was started as a shared reading project. That was 24 years ago. And then we adopted it here in Massachusetts, Shared Reading Saturday, 17 years ago. So it's just amazing. And I'm thrilled that this program is continuing, even through COVID. GURC said, nope, we're going to keep going because this is an important program that we're providing. We've been a little creative, but we've been able to continue. And the reason that we're able to do that is because of families and parents and tutors. Everyone is continuing to stay involved and getting the benefit from that, and that really makes a huge difference. So thank you to all of you for your commitment to the program. Okay, now we'll see what's next. What's the principle we're doing this month? Oh, I guess I made these slides and I don't even remember what was on them. I just wanted to share one quote. You can just take a look at this. Did we get a chance to read that? So this really talks about, the shared reading project, but shared reading project, shared reading Saturday, the fact that a lot of parents, maybe don't feel comfortable in the beginning and then begin to feel much more comfortable reading with their children. It doesn't have to be stressful. It doesn't have to be, word. You can get into the story. The story can kind of get into you, and you can, as you go along, you find the different vocabulary that's necessary. You look at the concepts of the book and what are the most important parts of the book for your youngsters at their age that they're at. That's the most important part of this. So I do love that quote. So now finally we can get into the principles. So principles for reading with your deaf child. So there was a researcher at Laurent Clair Center, David Schlepper, And he developed these principles. He got lots of data and lots of research and looked at how deaf children with deaf parents, what their reading experience was like, what their reading skills were, and they were fantastic. So they wanted to see, what are these deaf parents doing with their deaf children to promote literacy? What's their experience to help these children, and then can we use that to help hearing parents read with their deaf children? So he developed these principles and got them published and shared them with families. And so every month I will pick a few principles to share with you. And hopefully we can incorporate that in your storytelling and your shared reading with your children. So we're going to start the basics. We'll start with number 1. You can see it written right there. So translate the story using ASL. Open the book. You don't have to follow the text, whether it be in English or Spanish. You don't have to do that. You take a look at the book. Try to focus on, figuring out what the main story is, put it into ASL. Practice that. Include finger spelling. Focus on the concept and concept development. Those are the important parts. So that's principle number 1. Principle number 2 is when you're reading a book, try to keep both languages visible. So if you have the book open and your child is sitting here, maybe on your lap, try to sign close to the book so they can see both the book and your signs at the same time. So they can, see both, whether the printed text and the ASL signs at the same time. It can be challenging, yes. But again, with practice, figuring out how to set things up, it's a skill you'll get better and better at. You can hold the book up in front of you, and you can sign in front of the book. There's so many different ways, different strategies of how you can hold the book to make sure that they can see both languages at the same time. Okay, what's next? Oh, here we go. Okay. So the first one was, we did the first and we did the second, and now here we are at the third principle. So the text is, written on the page, but you're not limited to that text. You don't have to just read that text and then be done. Feel free to add to the story, to enhance it. You don't need to follow only the words that are in the book and then stop. You can add information that makes the story more clear or is more descriptive. And we're going to practice that. I'm not sure, you're maybe thinking, how will we do that? But we will practice that. I'll show you what that looks like. So this is a perfect example. So Lynn Erning is the writer, and she's, a teacher, and looking at, how this story can be signed. they were looking at some people signing it. So the text in the book is written there, but when she was watching deaf folks, how they actually signed this part of the story. So what the English text says is Jack needs to burp, so she has to wait. Nora has to wait. But what the teacher ended up doing was expanding on that and adding a whole lot of information that made it more clear. Dad's busy. Nora goes up to Mom, taps her on the shoulder, and Mom says, what? Mom has feeding the baby, and the baby needs to burp. Mom's rocking the baby, can't put the baby down, trying to burp the baby. And so Nora tries to get Mom's attention, and Mom's focused on the baby. So all of these things that the deaf folks signed aren't in the text of the book. Much different than just the text in the book, but gives a whole lot more context. And that really helps children understand the concepts better. The concepts are in the picture, but they're not written necessarily in the text. As adults, we may know, we look at that picture and we understand all of these things because we have that, conceptual development. We know what's happening, how to burp a baby, how long that takes, what the process is. But for young kids, they're still learning and they may not understand, why the focus is on the baby at the moment or what the concept of burping is or whatnot. So it's important to not feel constrained by the text that's on the page and feel free to elaborate on any concepts that you see. So we just went through 3 principles. Keep those in the back of your mind as we go through the story for this month. So we'll read this story together. So I want you to be thinking about the principles that we've just gone through while we're going through this story. Think about how can I include more information if I'm reading this with my child? How can I include those principles in my reading? Okay? We'll get started then. This is such a heartfelt story. It's a beautiful story. It was a new book for me. And it just broke my heart. I love it. I love this story. And it's called Outside In. And it's written by Deborah Underwood and illustrated by Cindy Derby. Beautiful artwork in this book. A long time ago, long ago, outside in this area, we connected. No barriers, we connected. See a girl walking in the trees, a cat following her, pretty trees, sometimes we're outside and what happens? We can describe the picture. There's a bird flying, birds flying up in the trees. There's lots of trees. You can see the road with one car on it. So you can imagine the picture. The writer says, sometimes we're outside, and what happens next? We're outside, but we're still inside. See the girl sitting inside the car, sitting, seatbelt, holding her pet dinosaur. She looks sad a little bit. Her eyes are down. She's not excited and looking outside. Her eyes are down. What happens outside in this area, we're disconnected. We forget about outside, which is sad. So in the picture, you can see the girl leaving the car, walking with her mother, maybe, and they're walking outside, but not connected to outside, which is sad. And the picture shows the trees with a bird in the tree. And the car is parked there. Now you can see the girl walking. She's outside, but she needs a reminder of the outside. And we'll see what happens. So in the picture, you can see a snail. What else is out there? Outside. Outside's trying to remind her. So outside, you can see the house and a long hallway with windows. And the sun is coming in. The light is coming through the windows. In the next piece, you can see the girl inside, sitting. Outside, there's magic. What's the magic? Beautiful butterfly and bugs. That's the magic. Beautiful. The girl is sitting inside. Looks like she might be reading a book. And the outside is creeping in. The sunlight is casting shadows. Shadow. Dark black. Trying to remind her. Say, hey, come on, come play outside. Come on. The sun's creeping in. The light is creeping in as the sun goes down, casting shadows, asking her to play. So now you see the home. Outside, there's birds. What's the bird doing? Sitting up on the tree, trying to say, hey, pecking on the roof, say, hey, pay attention to us. Come play. Come outside. But the girl, what's she doing? She's inside, sitting with her cat on the floor, playing, communicating. And her mother, she's sitting. Looks like she might be reading. I need my glasses. But they're all inside. Outside, trying to pull her out. The outside smells beautiful. It smells nice and clean and fresh, invigorating. Feel good. You feel maybe a little mysterious. What's outside? The outside is pulling her out. You can see the flowers and the plants all growing. The girl is sitting in the kitchen, at the kitchen table, reading a book with her dog. Her dog sitting with her at the table. Across from that is a counter with some fruit. Looks like a banana, apples, berries, whole bunch of fruit. Next to the fruit is the cat laying there. And what's her mother doing? At the sink, standing, washing dishes. So the outside, what's the outside doing? The outside is growing plants that feed the food to feed the people. The outside makes the bananas and the apples and the berries and the bread and all of the food. That comes from outside. The sun, the rain, the seeds. They grow and become food, which then feeds them inside. The girl is wearing a sweater. It's warm and cozy. Cotton. Cotton. She feels nice and cozy. The outside grows the cotton. Also outside grows the trees. And those trees are cut down and become wood to make the chair that the girl's sitting in. That the wood for that chair comes from the trees outside. So the girl's sleeping. Hugging onto her dog. And her cat is perched on her back. The girl can feel the cat on her back and feel her puppy in her arms. Can feel the puppy's rough fur. But the dog and the cat, she feels connected with them, with the animals. Outside teaches time for bed, time to rest. And outside also teaches when it's time to get up in the morning. The sun goes down, the sun comes back up. That all happens outside. Outside teaches us that. When to rest and when to get up. It's nice. Sometimes what happens? Outside comes in. Spider sometimes comes inside the home. Or in the bath, there might be a bug. Boxlander bug. Eee. Or sometimes on our food, like kale, you might find a snail there. So outside can come in. Inside, when outside comes in, it can come in through the water. In the sink, the water is from outside, and it comes in through the pipes. But the water wants to go back outside into the ocean. That's what the water wants. The girl is sitting inside, and she's looking outside. The outside is calling to her, "Come, I'm here. I'm here, come outside, I miss you." The outside is waiting for her to come. And the girl is standing with her cat. What will happen? The girl goes outside with the cat and goes outside. In the outside says, "Come on, join us. Come on, enjoy yourself. We have beautiful trees, and we have beautiful animals. A deer, beauty out here. Leaves are falling. It's a beautiful place." And the girl finally remembers outside and connects with outside. Yay! I hope that you enjoyed this story as much as I did. So next, hi everybody. Oh, I enjoyed that story so much. I tried not to well up because it's a little sad. I did well up a little bit. But it was a great story. Yes. We did have a game. I really enjoyed it. And I think maybe, we had some people not show up today, so a game might not work out. Yeah, we'll hold it. That's a good idea. So we'll hold on to that. So next month when we get back together for shared reading, if you were able to be here this month, then we'll have the book available to give you that you can practice with Fran. To prepare that book, we'll also be able to do next month's story. Like I said, we haven't made a decision about the plan for next month. Whether it will be in person, outside goes with the story today. But we'll figure that out and we'll let you know soon. But we do have a short survey that I'll send out to you guys as well. I'll just attach it here. It's 2 simple questions. Will help us get some more information for our plans for next month. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Fran. Thank you to families who attended today. Thank you to our 2 interpreters, Desiree and Cello.
Yep.
Thanks so much, and we'll see you October 30th. Okay?
Great.
Have a great fall.